Hi everybody. This is my first YouTube video for my new YouTube channel, and I am Aunt BB. My name is Barb or Barbara. I'm a transplanted Virginian. I was born and raised in Virginia. I'm an American, but today I'm at a local park where I live. I live in Abbotsford, British Columbia in Canada, and this is Mill Lake Park, and it's a very peaceful park in the middle of a very congested area, and you can see some of the development here. And so I have dual citizenship, so I like to talk about US and Canadian politics and where they overlap, which is in a lot of areas, really. But I finally decided to start doing videos because yesterday it suddenly dawned on me there were some really disturbing things going on with people who used to be considered the left. Now, even more so than since the election in 2016. So, there's a lot of people on the left who have started to jump on the Trump train. Now, back around the time of the election in 2016, there were already people jumping on the Trump train, and they thought that's where the money was. They thought that's how they could promote themselves, and one of those was Sticks Hexenhammer 666, whose real name was Tarl Warwick, and but I call him Sticky Buns because he's a disgusting creature. He does these rambling videos where he doesn't know what the heck he's talking about, and he trashed me online, and he didn't even know what he's talking about then either. He said I had talked about my pathetic YouTube channel that had no followers or something like that, and I was a talentless rambling hack or something like that. I have the screenshots to prove all this stuff. Just check the show notes. I've got it all documented. So he jumped on the Trump train early, and he's got quite a following now. And I don't know, I really don't understand why, because I watched a little bit of his stuff early 2017, and I thought it was crap. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't provide any evidence for what he's saying. But in the last couple of weeks, there's another figure, H.A. Goodman, who he officially came out as a Trump supporter. And it seemed to be over the DNC, the Democratic National Committee's lawsuit against WikiLeaks and everybody, really. Oh, the Russian government suing them because Hillary lost. So that's what supposedly tipped him over the edge. So he's a Trump supporter. And what's really disgusting is I watched H.A. He was being interviewed on Hard Bastard's channel. Now, Hard Bastard's another one. He voted for Trump. He used to be on the left. He's sort of a centrist, really. I don't know that he's really on the left. But anyway, so Hard Bastard was interviewing H.A., and they started talking about the Gaza massacres, and I could not believe what I was hearing. So I already knew H.A.'s a Zionist, really. He went to Hebrew school, and so he's been indoctrinated. So it wasn't really a surprise, but it really was disgusting to hear after watching what happened in Gaza. There were 60 people killed, 2,700 wounded, and they're being blamed. And so Hamas is being blamed for using these people supposedly for political purposes, but who had the guns? Who was shooting these people? Who was doing this? It wasn't Hamas doing this. It was Israeli soldiers. So HA's an apologist. He says, he blames the victims. He blames Hamas and that, Israel, what are they supposed to do? They're surrounded by enemies. Yeah, the same old nonsense. They're not surrounded by enemies. They're dominating that area. They're allied with Saudi Arabia. And another one who's become sort of a Trump apologist. Now, I have to say, I have myself been called a Trump apologist. I voted for Bernie Sanders and then Jill Stein. So I'm not a Trump supporter, but because I just decided to wait and see what Trump actually did. I was being called a Trump apologist. I didn't care about his hair. I didn't care about him personally. And I think that's the healthy way to go, is not to take people personally or be personally offended. I judge Trump by his policies, and I don't care about his antics. He's being himself. I mean, everybody knows he's a narcissist, and he used to be a media darling too. So there are people like Zach Haller, if I will post these links. I look at people's Twitter pages. Zach Haller, I used to really like Zach Haller because he was really calling out the DNC's corruption, but now he's really obsessed with QAnon, that psyop, that's disinformation just to distract people from what's really going on. And he's also obsessed with the FBI and that political theater, the corruption at the FBI and the Trump-Russia dossier and the DNC corruption and how they tried to undermine Trump's candidacy and since his election, they tried to undermine Trump's presidency. So, I don't know. It's sad that somebody like Zach Haller, he's not really seeing, he gives Trump credit for things that Trump has nothing to do with, like the North Korea, the Korean peace deal, which is still not a done deal. It might very well fall apart because there's so many people opposed to it. There's so many neocons that are trying to undermine that. It's just sad. Somebody like Zach Haller, he's just does not call out Trump for his policies. Bernie Sanders is another one. He's a Zionist. Basically, he's Israel apologist. He's another one, and so he's not talking about the Gaza massacres. Jimmy Dore. I don't watch Jimmy Dore anymore. I stopped watching him last year, mid last year. He hasn't done any videos about Gaza. Jamal Thomas did, but he was talking about it being blowback for the U.S. Embassy being opened in Jerusalem. And I don't really see it as blowback. This is something the Palestinians, they were protesting the fact that they have been made permanent refugees for the last 70 years. And they're just not treated as people. They're killed. They're trying to be, the Israeli government is trying to wipe out the Palestinians one way or another. And they've taken all their territory. People talk about, the Palestinians, they have Gaza and they've got the West Bank. No, they don't. Israel just claims it all. And if you really look at a map, Israel's just chipped away at practically all of the West Bank to put in settlements or whatever. So Palestinians, they have no life. They live their lives as best they can, but they have no life. And they're just a political football in the Middle East, really. And people just sort of think this is normal, that the way they're being treated it's not normal. There's nothing normal about this. And it just doesn't get enough attention. And, there's too many people on the left. They're just not, they're playing it safe. They don't want to offend their Trump followers. It's all about their brand. And I get it that, some of these people, they're trying to make a living at this. So they don't want to alienate anybody. But there comes a point where you got to you really do have to speak out. There was a favorite of mine, Holly Seeliger, I used to like, and I liked Holly, and she did some good videos. But she's not speaking out against this warmongering. She's not speaking out against these atrocities. She plays it safe, and it's just so. All these people, it's the coverage is no better than what you would see on in the mainstream media. And then on the right, I do have to give credit to a fellow Piper from the Piper Report. He used to collaborate with Holly, and he actually did a video about the Palestinians in the Gaza. And good for him. It was not a perfect video, but at least he did something, and he took time out. He was working on another video, and he decided he needed to talk about this, and he was shocked at the innocent people being killed there, children, a lot of them children. So good for him. Now Ron Paul has talked about this, but Ron Paul, he says, oh, well, we need to be non-interventionist. But he was leaving out the fact that the U.S. props up the Israeli government, heavily subsidizes them, and promotes the government. And the U.S. government, it just bends over backwards for Israel. So Ron Paul, his reasoning is flawed because he doesn't talk about that. He just says, oh, we should stay out and let them sort it out. Well, how can they sort it out when the U.S. is backing Israel and letting them do whatever they want in the Middle East? Well, that doesn't make any sense. So those are some of my thoughts. I came out here because I thought it would be more relaxing to give a little tough love if I'm enjoying nature. And so this is Mill Lake Park in Abbotsford, British Columbia. Used to be a lumber mill located here. But I come out here to see the ducks and the Canada geese, and they got some new babies. The goslings are out. Very cute. They're occasionally cormorants. And we get the odd bald eagle that comes here. There's a big eagle's nest that I check out every time I come around here. So it's a really very peaceful place. It's hard to believe it's in the middle of a very heavily congested area, but this is where I like to come. So I'll talk to you again soon. I'm going to keep doing videos. I need to give credit to Scott Crichton. He kind of gave me a nudge to do this. He's got a very good channel. He's got a website, American Everyman, and it's very good. He used to have a YouTube channel by that name, but it was shut down. So now he's working from his channel that was for gaming. It's called ChurchDog42. I'll have all these links in the show notes. And I also want to give credit to a young man in Ontario, fellow Canadian citizen. I am a Canadian citizen, and he lives in Ontario. I'm in British Columbia, and we used to argue a lot online. But young Patrick, what changed him, he apologized profusely to me online, and it was after I had recommended Scott's channel to him, and that really did it. And so he's been very sweet to me. So I got to give Patrick credit for doing that. That was really classy. Okay, well, I'll talk to you again soon. Okay, have a good day. Bye.